everybody, it's Jenny from Jenny Stitches and welcome back to my channel today and welcome to Studio Stitches. So it's been a while since I recorded a proper chatty video with you. It's a Wednesday morning in the middle of September. It's a glorious day, the sun is out. And the shop doesn't open for another hour, so what a better time to make a cup of tea and have a quick catch up on all the goings on here at Jenny Stitches. So I feel like it's been a long time since I've recorded a kind of behind the scenes chatty kind of update for you. This year has been simultaneously one of the best and one of the hardest years of my life. And that probably sounds really, really dramatic. And don't panic. There's no reason to panic there. There's nothing bad. I've just had so much going on in the last 12 months that it's been a huge challenge for me personally. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. I'm not sure what direction this video is going to take. It's not scripted. I never script anything. As you know, I'm very sort of natural and what you see is what you get with me. So I've literally just made a brew, sat down and thought, let's chat. So we are upstairs in the new studio. I want to say it's finished, but there will probably be a snag list going on up here for the next 10 years. There are still quite a few bits and pieces that need sorting out, things like door frames to be painted and little holes to be filled and so on and so forth, but the majority of the work is done and this is officially a functioning workshop space which we are now able to use for classes, and the first of those classes is going to take place on Saturday. We have a Sewing for Complete Beginners session booked in. And yeah, I can't wait. It's really exciting. It feels like so much work and effort has gone into the lead up to getting to this position. And I will be honest with you, I am exhausted. I'm just going to have some tea. Don't actually forget to have the cup of tea. So if you've been a long time watcher, you will know this, but just a bit of backstory. I took this shop over in June of 2023 and the upstairs was like abandoned. The whole shop has been empty for around 10 years before I took it over, and obviously my first focus was on sorting out the downstairs space. And yeah, I never had a plan at the outset for upstairs. When I came to view the property, I kind of thought, wow, like this is a huge upper floor that's completely untouched, but it wasn't part of my initial plan to sort of bring it into use. However, over time, I did kind of think, well, do you know what? I'm paying rent for this building. I may as well be using this space. Plus the fact that up here had sustained some pretty bad water damage from a previous leak, which has now been fixed. It was in a pretty grotty sort of state, really, to say the least, and that's not the environment that I want for myself or for my children when I bring them here, or for any of my team members if they're coming upstairs. And that's not unusual. Usually behind the scenes in retail properties, things are really quite rough. You tend to find that you've got nice looking shop floors and really horrible sort of staff areas. And I didn't want it to be like that. I want it to be a nice environment for anybody that comes up here. So I took the decision to renovate. And obviously that's been a huge financial investment for me. I have had to borrow some money to get the work done. And that is even with myself and Mr. Stitches basically doing a DIY job. We decided to do as much of the labour as we possibly could because we just don't have the thousands and thousands of pounds it would cost to pay somebody to come and floor this room and paint this room and remedy all of the issues that it had. So We're not afraid of hard work. We have the skills between us. It might not be perfect, but it's certainly going to do the job, and I think it looks stunning and it feels stunning to be up here. So I'm really excited to welcome people in. I do have a more in detail video about my plans for the space, which I'll link in, and you can go and read that, watch that if you like. But yeah, so excited that this is done, but very, very glad that that period of hard work is behind me, because it's been a lot. And I think I started work up here in about February time, just started tentatively with the little kitchen space, with a bit of painting, wallpapering, that kind of thing. I had to get hot water installed. We've had electrical work done up here. James has laid a laminate floor throughout the whole space, which is just beautiful. And I seem to have been engaged in endless hours of painting. I can't count the number of big buckets of white paint that I've got through. Wallpapering, we've been hanging blinds, we've been replacing lights, we've been assembling furniture. Yeah, it's just been so much. And all of that work was on top of running the business full time. James obviously has a full-time job, and we have 2 children, and we don't have any sort of local childcare for that. The kids are a bit bigger now, so it's not too much of an issue, but we've really had to work all of that renovation work around all of our existing commitments. And there has been times where I thought that might break me, I will be honest. It's been tough. And this literally is not a come in here to moan. It's just, you know, this is the reality of growing and pushing forwards a small business when you don't have access to huge amounts of cash. And I guess that really just makes me reflect on, you know, you look at the commercial operations of the big stores where they just walk in and it's like a 2-week turnaround. I watched my local Costa coffee get refitted in the space of about 3 days, and it was just phenomenal to see these teams just swoop in, and you're just saying, wow. Whereas over here, we're just sanding away. And yeah, it really makes you think, you know, money just doesn't grow on trees, and yeah, it's hard. But sort of alongside that, I've had, without going into too much detail because it is personal, I've had some sort of upsets in my family life which have been so traumatic that sort of back in about February time, yeah, I think it was February, I really just hit a wall. With the sort of expansion of the business, with the like personal upsets, with just complete exhaustion from working sort of 6-7 days a week at all times to try and keep things going, keep things moving, keep things on the up. I just hit a point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. But I have never planned or never wanted to walk away from this business. It is everything to me, and I've put so much hard work and effort in to get to this point that would never happen. So it was sort of, how am I going to overcome these things? How am I going to find a better work-life balance? How am I going to make sure that I can continue growing the business to what I envision for it and where I want it to be and where I see it being? And yeah, that was a lot to take on. And there was just a point, I guess, earlier on this year where I just got so overwhelmed with it all. I just completely hit the wall. And I was really struggling to sort of be at my best for work, which, you know, you probably wouldn't know it from the outside in, because that's what we do, isn't it? We show up and we present a very put together image, and it's all smiles and it's all happy, and then, you know, it's the classic, you don't know what somebody's going through behind the scenes. And yeah, I've had a tough yet transformative sort of 6 to 12 months, and I'm really pleased to say that I'm in a position now where I feel so much better. I've accessed some really amazing therapists who've helped me sort of get some of my thoughts in order and help me deal with some of the personal traumas that I've been through, and also help me sort of come to terms with some of the things about myself that I maybe thought were negative, and which actually were not. And now I'm in a position where I look back on that time and it's like looking at a different person, if you know what I mean. So without going too deep, I am okay, don't worry. But yeah, I feel like I've been through the mill this last 6 months. However, I do feel like I've come out of the other side so much better, so much more focused, so much stronger. I've recently started working with a business coach who is amazing. And she is just helping me get some clarity on where I want to go, what I want to do, how I'm going to get there, because I consider myself quite switched on. And I have a very sort of strong, I've got an accountancy background, I've seen a lot of businesses from auditing, I've worked in various businesses, but nothing prepares you for business life like doing it yourself. And in a lot of ways I have become a cliche of all the things that I would previously sort of criticize clients for. So it's quite funny to see life on the other side. And yeah, I've had to eat like a slice of humble pie in a lot of ways, which is quite funny. But there's all these things I know I could be doing within the business, all these directions that I want to take it. I have all these great ideas, all these products I could stock, all these events I could put on, all these things I could do, and all these different ways of marketing and so on. And I sort of hit a point where I was thinking, I don't actually know what to do next. And for me, that tends to result in doing nothing at all, which of course is completely counterproductive. So working with a coach has been really, really helpful, because she's now helping me to identify what my priorities are, and then I can go off and work on those separately. And having this renovation work out of the way and sort of boxed off is just great, because that leaves me free now to really go and pursue the growth in the business that I need to make it sustainable. So moving into this shop unit was obviously quite a big uplift in expenses for me. It's a lot more overheads. We've got business rates to pay, we've got a higher lease to pay. Obviously the bills are greater, the water, the electric and so on. And yeah, I have to obviously grow the business to support that, which means I need to sort of seek more sales. I need to really grow the online side of the business, because I feel that that's where the opportunity is, all the while whilst keeping my existing customers really, really happy, because I think that my customers are happy. I get lots of lovely feedback and reviews from you guys, which is just incredible, and I don't want that experience to diminish. So it's being very careful to grow in a considered way. And yeah, I'm excited to learn new skills there. I've got to learn about marketing and advertising and all sorts of things. So I'm excited to get my teeth stuck into a new skill set. So watch this space. But yes, that's the challenge, and there are times when that challenge can feel a little overwhelming and it can feel quite scary. I am not one of life's natural risk takers. I would much rather do something that I knew was guaranteed to work, and that really just doesn't fit with being an entrepreneur. You know, business is all about taking those calculated risks, and sometimes you've just got to go with your gut. My gut is telling me that this business can be amazing, but it's also telling me that not enough people know about it. And I really need to work on getting the business name out there and bringing more people into the lovely community that we've created, because, and I don't just mean here in the shop, but I mean even online. You know, the chats that we have in the comments, the chats that we have on the Friday lives, the emails that I share with you guys, the DMs that we have, I have some friends I would consider through this business who I have never met in real life. And, you know, that's kind of weird, but also amazing to me. And, you know, I want to get to see more of you. I want to hold more in-person events. I want you to come here. I want to get back out on the road and see you guys again. So there's lots to come, but I think we've got to go through a bit of a period of stabilisation first now that upstairs is sorted, thank goodness. So the first of these things is that recently I have recruited 2 lovely ladies to join our team, and whilst that's been a huge step for me that I was very nervous about, because having your own business is like it's like a child. I often joke about it as my 4th baby. And sharing that out with somebody and allowing them to come into that is quite daunting. I mean, what if they mess it up? What if they upset a customer? I shouldn't have worried. I will be doing sort of full social media inductions in a little while, as I'm just bringing them on board at the moment. One lady, Julie, has actually started and she's done a couple of Saturdays in the shop, and the other lady, Jade, is due to start next week. So I want them to get settled in before I splash them around on social media, but they are wonderful and they are going to be such an asset to the team because they're bringing with them skills and knowledge that are different to mine. Obviously, I am a dressmaker. I don't know about every aspect of sewing, nobody could, but they're going to bring in a different dynamic to the team, which is just lovely to see. And yeah, it's going to be great for me to be able to take my hands off some of the day-to-day operations at times to give me more freedom to do more of the business strategic kind of stuff, which is what I need to be spending my time on now. And you know, that's going to mean I can get back to doing things like social media properly. I really don't feel like I do enough on YouTube. I had a spell a year or 2 ago where I grew my Instagram phenomenally because I was filming reels and I was putting content out, and now that's kind of dried up because all of my time has been sucked into the day-to-day operations of the business, which is an easy trap to fall into, but it's one that I really need to pull myself out of because I want to get back into all that, and it's good for the business and it's good for me, and I love engaging with you guys. So lots more to come there, and I want to be able to do things like film sew-along videos and produce more kits. Purple Packages really took me by surprise, and you know, in some ways I feel like those boxes, as silly as it might sound, kind of saved me a little, because when I put the first Purple Package bag kits back together back in February, that was when I was really struggling, and the response to that just blew me away. And I was on the phone to my supplier, my haberdashery supplier, who's lovely. We chat a lot, and I was saying to him, like, I'm just having a really hard time. I just can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Winter is quite bad in the creative industry. Sort of February was just, sales were just through the floor. I was doing what I could to make it through, alongside having all these new costs with recently moving into a new shop. And he was like, look, you know it's going to come right. You need to have a little faith. And this was literally about 30 minutes before I went on the live to launch the kits. And he said, go out there, show them your bag kits, and you will see. And when the kits started to sell on the live, I could have cried, because I was in such a dark place with myself that I didn't think anyone would buy my kits. So, you know, a huge part of this journey in the last few months for me has really been, and I'm sorry if I'm waffling here, but it's really been addressing my confidence, my mindset, my lack of self-belief in places, you know, and addressing those little narratives that I have with myself, and really working to become more, to really back myself more, and to really believe in myself and in my business. And it's all there. Everything that I've done so far has been successful, and the bones of it are there, and there's no reason why it can't be made bigger and better. And that's what I want, and that's what we're going to do. And yeah, I'm going to manifest that. And I hope you all come along with me. So yeah, to get back to my point there, like, I want to make more purple packages. I want them to be a regular thing. I want to increase the availability of those. I am planning an autumnal one right now. I ordered the fabric for it yesterday, so that's exciting. So many ideas, so many things I want to do, and you know, the process has started. Nothing in life that is worth having comes easily. Nothing comes without work, comes without effort, comes without heartbreak. But I honestly think that this business is and will be the making of me as a person. I have gained so much from it on a personal level that I can't even put into words. And so much of that is the relationships and the impact that have come around just being here and welcoming people into this space has brought me lifelong friendships and connections that I really, really value. And, you know, some of those things have come by complete surprise. You know, things that start off as a commercial need, you know, we need to put some classes on, make the most of the space, to then the absolute joy of watching people leave the room with something that they've created, seeing their confidence build, seeing friendships form. I'm just so proud of it. And yeah, I can't wait for what comes next. I am excited for what comes next. It won't be easy. I'm sure there will be days where I think, oh my goodness, what have I done? But we will get there, and I want you all to come along with me. I can't believe the level of support that YouTube has brought for me. It's been a revelation. Back in the days when I was on my market stall, one of the other traders said to me, you need to get on YouTube. And I was like, I can't film videos in the market, blah, blah, blah. And I started doing them at home. And I think now if you go back and look at the first videos on this channel, they're pretty awkward. I filmed them on my phone, I was nervous, I didn't. But I am blown away that by being myself, people like me. People like what I sell. It's a revelation. So yeah, I'm forever grateful for Becky for pushing me to do that, because it has been a game changer. And it's so funny when people come to the shop and say, oh, it's like amazing to be here because I actually watch you on YouTube. And I'm like, what? And speaking of in-person meetings, I unfortunately will not be going to the Harrogate show this year. I know a few of you have already sent messages to ask if I will, and I can quite confidently say no this time. That's not to say that I won't go again in the future. I'd quite like to go next year, but with everything that's gone on in the last 6 months, with all of the work and the effort and the investment up here, I am not in a place at the moment to be able to go to a show, because shows are amazing. The 3 days, 4 days that you trade in are just phenomenal. The vibes are high, the atmosphere's buzzing, everyone's excited to be there, everybody's spending, it's great, it's fast paced, get to meet everybody. I love it. The build up to the show is hard work. Closing the shop for a week is tricky. The number of people that have accused me of closing down because I went to the Harrogate show has been surprising. And then getting back and unloading, rebuilding the shop and recovering from that is quite a lot. Last year at Harrogate, I was quite poorly. Going to those shows is very expensive. You know, and I don't think that's a big secret. The actual sort of square meterage of those stands is very high. So and you know, you need to book your stand, you need to hire a van, you need accommodation, you've got to feed yourself while you're there, and any employees you may take with you. And then obviously we've got to invest up front in quite a bit of stock to take to make sure there's enough stock to cover the weekend. And then you've got the cost of the shop being closed as well. So yeah, they're expensive. You do get a lot of sales whilst you're there, but I have found over the last 2 years that essentially any profits that I've made, I have then given back to those organisers in the form of the stand fees. So I kind of treat it as a marketing exercise. It's a great way to meet new people and connect with existing customers, and I love it for that. But this year I don't have the money, or I'll be honest, the energy to do it. I would rather leave it for a year and then come back to it fresh next year, hopefully with some fully trained staff members that can support me in that. And yeah, so that's why I won't be at the Harrogate show this year. No doubt I will have massive FOMO, fear of missing out, when it gets to that time, and I'll be gutted that I'm not there. But yeah, do you know what as well? It's really the drive. Oh my goodness, coming back, driving a long wheelbase transit van across, you know, between Yorkshire and Cumbria, over that pass, what's it called? Buttertubs. Oh dear me, it's quite frightening. So yeah, a break from the shows this year whilst the theme is to sort of get that solid base down, to regroup, and then we're going forwards. So yeah, probably we'll see you at in-person events in the future, but just for now, we're stopping here. So it's nearly 12 o'clock and the shop opens at 12:30. So I am gonna head off because I've probably waffled on for long enough. I do apologise if that gets a little bit deep in places, but I always want to be real with you. I always want to be honest. I'm not a fan of sort of social media where everything is presented as perfect. I am an incredibly positive person, and I do believe that it's my positivity that has dragged me through difficult times and out onto the other side. And this is no different, and I'm really, really excited and positive about the future. And yeah, that's probably enough. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your support. I don't think you know how much it's meant. There's been days where I've just stood here and thought, do I even want to do this anymore? Is this the right thing for me? And then a review will pop up, or a YouTube comment will pop up, or I'll get an email from someone just saying how happy they are with something. And it just, I can't tell you how much it means. It just keeps me going. So thank you. Thank you very much. And I am excited to see what comes next. But today, I've got to go and open the shop. I'm hoping I might have a couple in for this afternoon's social crafternoon, but the sun is shining, so I wouldn't blame them if they didn't. But anyway, I hope to see you very soon. Take care, happy sewing, and bye-bye.